and thank you, Reverend Roberts. These men have done a great job, and thank God for them. How many brought Bibles? Amen. Amen. Okay. All right. Let's turn to Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7. Okay. Let me somewhat repeat in terms of what we covered on this past Wednesday night. We covered what I call inverted. Inverted parallelism. Inverted parallelism. Okay? And what I said that Daniel chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, okay, chapter 5, chapter 6, and chapter 7. These chapters, okay, are what we call inverted parallelism. Okay? Now, what that is saying is that chapter 2 and chapter 7 basically are, okay, the same, but they're not the same. Okay? They're the same in terms of an approach. Okay? Chapter 3 goes with chapter 6, and chapter 4 goes with chapter 5. Okay? Which means that they basically, all right, have the same approach. Each one of these have the same approach. Okay? So, in chapter 2 and chapter 7, we have dreams and visions. Okay? Chapter 2 deals with Nebuchadnezzar having a dream and a vision. Chapter 7, which we will be studying, deals with Belshazzar having a dream and a vision. Okay? Chapter 3, chapter 6 are judgment chapters. Okay? In chapter 3, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are put in judgment. Okay? Chapter 6, you have Daniel put in judgment. Okay? God intervenes for Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. God intervenes for Daniel. Okay? In chapter 4, we have, by way of study, we have Nebuchadnezzar getting beside himself and based on him getting beside himself, he goes through what is called temporary judgment. Okay? So, what's temporary judgment? Temporary judgment is judgment before you die. Okay? Because he's judged before he dies. Okay? In chapter 5, you have Belshazzar going into judgment. And that's permanent. Okay? Because his judgment ends up with what? Him dying. Okay? Same thing that happens to us, basically. Those of us who are saved, okay, we are saved from the wrath of God. Is that right? Okay. Which means that our judgment is simply temporary. Huh? You understand that? Okay. But if we should die and be out of the ark of safety, have not received Christ, then our judgment is permanent. Okay? There's no way that anyone can be prayed out of that situation. Okay? When you look at Luke chapter 16, okay, and that is dealing with hell. Is that right? Luke chapter 16 deals with hell. Okay? In that, you have a man by the name of Dives. Okay? It is about, that 16th chapter is about a man by the name of Lazarus. Not the Lazarus that happened to have been the brother of Mary and Martha. But this is a Lazarus who was a poor man. Now, don't misunderstand that, because you can be poor and go to hell. Okay? All right. So, what you have in your pocket or what you have in the bank, okay, does not count. We brought nothing in this world. And what? We're going to take nothing out of this world. All right, so when you come here and here, okay, you have, like I've already said, you have a situation of dreams. Okay? Dreams. When you come to here and here, you have a situation of suffering for what one believes and who one believes in. Okay? All right? And when you come here, you have judgment, one temporary, the other one permanent. Okay? All right. So when I was mentioning about, okay, and I went from that to this. I went from what we call the chronological order, okay, of the book of Daniel. Okay? Now, I said that Daniel okay, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, okay, chapter 4, And where does chapter 7 come in? Okay? Chapter 7 actually comes in between 5 and 6. Okay? Here's why. Here's why. When you read it in chapter 7, it says that, read the first verse. Daniel dreamed, okay, and that dream, he related it to Belshazzar. Is that right? Okay. Now, chapter 7, that's what chapter 7 is saying. But Belshazzar dies. He is in judgment. Okay. He loses his what? Kingdom. Okay. He loses his kingdom between chapter 4 and chapter 5. Because in chapter 4, it's about Nebuchadnezzar. Is that right? Okay. Chapter 5 is about Belshazzar. Okay. Chapter 7 is about Belshazzar. Okay. I said that 7 should come between 5 and 4. Okay? Because of the fact that 5 is the end of Belshazzar. Is that right? Okay. And 7 reveals that he is not ended. So how do you reconcile that? How do you reconcile the fact that the man went into judgment, okay, in chapter 5, he was judged, okay? All right, so the way you reconcile that is that 7 comes before 5. Huh? Okay. That's the, and then from there you get into 6. Huh? And then on. All right? Okay, now, are there any questions about this? Do we all understand it? Okay? If you have questions, please ask. I may not be able to answer, but please ask. Okay. Okay. All right. So I want you to ask questions. Really. All right. Okay.
Chapter 5 is about what? I missed what chapter 5 was.
You missed what chapter 5 was all about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is about a man called Belshazzar. He, according to the chapter, he is entertaining 1,000 of his lords, men that are under him. They're having a big shindig. They're having a big celebration. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with celebrating. Okay? But you have to be careful in terms of what got him in trouble is that he is using sacred vessels. What's a sacred vessel? Let me tell you in case you don't know. Okay? The mere fact that you are saved means that God has sanctified you. Okay? And me as well. Okay? And the word sanctified means God has set us apart. Okay? Okay, so there were vessels that God had sanctified, had set aside, had set apart. Okay, so what happens is Belshazzar doesn't know anything about the true and living God. Okay, so he says, we captured those children of Israel. They have some vessels that we can use. I think we'll celebrate with those vessels. Okay? And they start to celebrating, and God says, I'm calling this man into judgment. Okay? And not only am I calling him, but I'm calling the whole nation of Babylon into judgment. All right? The judgment was predicated upon a vision that Nebuchadnezzar had and needed Daniel to interpret it. And so Daniel comes and interprets that vision, that dream, and he says, man, God has got this big, huge statue. The head of it is gold. Okay? The bottom of the head, or underneath the head, the neck and part of that's silver. And down to the waist, that's bronze. And from the legs down, that's iron. And the toes is clay. It's a mixture of iron and clay. All right? So, Daniel tells him that you're the head. Okay? Now, if you'll notice, gold and silver, they are much less stronger than iron. Iron is really stronger. Gold is worth more. Huh? Silver is worth more. But iron is stronger. Okay? So, from the legs on down, and I'll get into that. From the legs on down is iron. Okay? All right. Which reveals that as a nation, that nation that is iron is going to be a powerful, long-lasting nation. Okay? All right? And so, Babylon is the head. Okay? Under the head is the nation called, or the empire called the Medes and the Persians. Okay? Under that one is the nation called what? Greece. Okay? Under that one is the Roman Empire. Okay? All right? And those are the nations that Daniel seen. Okay? Now, it's interesting to note, okay, that Babylon don't last length of their tenure. Okay? The nation that is called the Medes and the Persians lasts approximately 200 years. The nation that is called Greece lasts about 180 years. Okay? Rome lasts longer than those three nations almost put together. Historically, Rome lasts really about 500 years. Okay? All right, so anyway, that's what has happened, okay, in terms of. So that's where we are as it relates to this chapter 7. Let's begin to read it. Okay? In the first year, okay, I told you he was wiped out. Okay, so what Daniel is giving, he's giving a recapitulation. He's saying, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a what? Dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of what? The matter. Now, it almost appears like Daniel is an old man. He has somewhat retired. He's been out of action. Okay, when did he get out of that? He got out of action between Nebuchadnezzar being king and Belshazzar being his replacement. All right, so Daniel has been inactive. Fact of the matter is, Belshazzar doesn't even know Daniel.
Amen.
Huh? Is that possible? Yes, it's possible. If you're living in a place that is lost, it's quite possible for you not to know everybody. Is that right? Okay. We live in San Diego. How many of you know every black person? How many of you know everybody that lived in San Diego? None of us do. Okay, so it's quite possible for a person to live in a large area and not be known. Is that right? So Daniel has somewhat retired. He's an old man now. He started off as a young man. The way all of us start. Huh? But if we keep living, come on now, old age is going to set in. Amen. Amen. I always say this. I say, I'm glad that I'm older because I've discovered that the way you get old is you don't die young. No one who dies young gets old. Am I right or wrong? Okay. So I'm glad that God has blessed me to get old. Okay. All right. So Daniel is an old man. But just because he's old doesn't mean that he doesn't have any connection Huh? He's got connections with the Almighty. Come on now. Okay? And so no matter how old you get, make sure that you have connections with the Almighty. Amen. Amen. Never forget that. Okay? So, let's go on. Okay? And then you spake and said, I saw. Okay? In my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the what? Heaven rolled upon the great sea. And I said with us what this great sea is. Great sea in the Bible. Whenever you see that word, great sea, that's in regards to the Mediterranean Sea. Okay? Now, the promised land. Okay? The promised land, where you remember, they were trying to get to the promised land. Okay, the promised land, to get to the promised land, there was the river Euphrates. That was on the eastern borderline. And then there was the Mediterranean Sea. That was the western borderline. Okay, so the promised land is almost situated between. Okay? All right, so when you see and you read about, okay, the great sea, okay, and it says verse 3, and the four, okay, and the four what? Great beasts came from the sea, diverse one from another. Diverse simply means different. Okay? Different from one another. Okay? The first was like a lion and had what? Eagle's wings. But, he said, the wings were what? Plucked. Huh? Am I right? Okay. Which means that the wings are of no value. Okay? They have been plucked. Okay? Yes, it's a lion. Okay? Now, what is this in reference to? It is in reference to that gold that represented Babylon. Okay? The wings of the eagle are plucked. What it is saying is that Babylon is not going to be around long. Yes, you're at the top now, but you're not going to be there forever. Okay? All right. Yes, you are in control now, but you're not going to be in control long. Okay? All right, so let's go. Let's go. Okay? Now, when you find lion, what do you think about? Powerful, yes. But I also think about a lion symbolizes Satan. Yeah. He is as a what? Roaring lion. Which means that he makes a lot of noise. Okay? All right. But his noise don't bother the Lord. Okay? He's noisy. Okay? Got a lot of no to him. Have some power, but God's got what? All power. Okay, all right, okay. All right, so we think about that. Okay, now, okay. Whenever you find, and let me go back a little bit now. Whenever you find that word "see" in the Bible, okay, it is indicative of humanity. Okay? It is indicative, unless it's Galilee, Sea of Galilee or something like that. But when you look at it in Revelations and all of that, and it talks about the sea and all of that, that's indicative of the world, the human situation. Okay? All right, now, let's continue. Okay? And behold, till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as what? A man. And a man's heart was given to it. Okay? All right, now, verse 5 says, and behold, okay? And you have heard me say, when you find that word behold in the Bible, it means what? Stop looking at this. Okay? And behold, pay attention. Okay? Another beast, a second, okay, likened or like to a what? Bear. Huh? Okay, what's the difference between a lion and a bear? Okay. A lion moves faster. Is that right? A bear's got power. Huh? Brute power. Okay? But a lion has finesse. With its power. Okay? Can I put it like this? How many remember Sonny Liston?
Oh, yeah.
And Muhammad Ali? Huh?
Yeah.
You had Sonny Liston, who was the lion. Sonny Liston, who was really the bear. Okay, you had Muhammad, who was the lion and had finesse. Am I right? That's right. Okay. In most cases, finesse will overcome brute power. Huh? Even though brute power is strong, but brute power moves slow. And so here's Muhammad and his Sonny Liston. And by the time Sonny Liston gets in position to hit Muhammad, Muhammad can hit Sonny Liston 4 or 5 times. Liston had the brute power. Muhammad had the finesse. So he's dancing. Okay, he's dancing all around and in his dancing. And he's dancing and dancing. And when he gets through, he done hit him so many times. Now, he doesn't have the brute power, but the mere fact that he keeps hitting him and keeps hitting him And he keeps hitting him in the same spot. Pretty soon, Sonny Liston feels it. Okay, so you know what the end result was. That Muhammad overcame Sonny Liston. Okay, all right, so you have, okay, but in this case, okay, because of the fact that Babylon has basically the finesse, okay, but they have gotten where out of order. And when you get out of order, all your finesse won't help you. Okay, so God allows the Medes and the Persians who come in and they overtake Babylon. Okay, they overtake them, all right, and Babylon is judged. Now, unfortunately, as far as the Bible is concerned, we don't have no how long Nebuchadnezzar lasts. Okay? We can guesstimate. Okay? We don't know how long Belshazzar lasted. We can guesstimate. Okay? But we do know that the nations, because Daniel said, you're not going to be around long. Okay, so God's got to do what? He's got to back Daniel. Oh, you're quiet. Don't you understand that whoever God calls and gives orders, God's going to back them up. Sure, that's God. God is not going to tell you to do something or me to do something. Okay? And then go back it. That's not the way God works. Okay? So whenever God gives an assignment to whomever he gives it to, God's got to what? Back it. See? So that's where your faith comes.
Come on, God.
Amen.
Amen.
Huh? And here's where your faith is further enhanced. The more God backs you, the more faith you ought to have that he's going to back you. Okay? Because what? He has not let you down. Amen. Okay? All right, so let's go on. Let's go on. Okay? All right. The bear and raised up itself on one side and had three ribs. Where? In the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour the flesh. Okay. All right. So what's these three ribs? Okay. These three ribs are sub-nations that are around the Medes and the Persians. Okay? So God says, I'm going to get rid of this one. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay? Isn't that the way God wants? Sure it is. Huh? Okay. You don't have to pray for God to get rid of your enemy. You just let him deal with your enemy. And he'll do it. I don't bow and say, now Lord, get rid of so-and-so. Huh? Because so-and-so is bothering me. I don't have to do that. Okay? Why? Because I shouldn't pray like that. The Bible says I ought to pray for my enemy. Okay? All right. And so I bow. Lord, take care of so-and-so. I know they're working on it, but take care of it. Help them to see the light, Lord. Okay? And God deals with that. Okay? I'm not going to go into all my experiences as a pastor. Okay? But I have seen it happen. Okay? All right. So, I just let go. Let him work it. Okay? All right. I don't tell him when to work it. I don't tell him I'm tired. Lord, I don't do that. Okay? All right. So, let's continue. Let's continue. Okay? All right. And after this, I beheld, and to the other, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it wings of a fowl, and the beast had also 4 heads, and the nomination was given, dominion. Dominion was given to it. Okay? After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a 4th beast. Now, this 3rd beast, okay, happened to have been Greece, or the Greeks. Okay? These are the things that's coming down the pipe. Okay? All right. People say, the Bible don't say anything about Alexander the Great. He's right in here. He's right in here. He happened to have been, what? From Greece. He happened to put Greece on the map. Okay? All right. He died young. Okay? All right. Now, okay? This 4th beast is not identified in terms of an animal. Okay? It just says a beast. This beast was dreadful. This beast was terrible. This beast was strong. And it had great, iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts. Different. that were before it, and it had 10 horns. He's talking now about the Roman Empire. Okay? So these are the nations that he is seeing. Man, Daniel is something else. He is seeing in the future, way down the line. Okay? God has shown him, and he is interpreting, okay, what's going to happen. Now, if I'm right, and I believe I am, when Daniel, back here in the 2nd chapter, was told by God about that giant, that statue, okay? Daniel saw what was going on down here.
Right.
So Daniel he kept it.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell everything. Some things you just... Okay? All right. Keep it to yourself. All right? All right. So Daniel has known. He knew up here what was going to happen down here. But he waits on God to happen.
Amen.
What's the principle? Lord, what you taking so long for?
Come on, Brian.
I asked you to do this, and I've been waiting now for 10 months. And you haven't done a thing. When you gonna move? Isn't that the way we do it? Huh? We're so impatient. We're so impatient. Lord, I've been praying now for you to get me out of this that I done got myself in. And I promise you that if you would get me out, I'll serve you the balance of my days. And God gets you out and you, oh Lord, man. Thank you, Lord. Bye-bye.
Come on, Brian.
We forget so quick. Okay. All right, so let's continue. Okay? All right? Here's what the 8th verse says. Okay? All right? I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another devil. And I want you to pay attention to these 2 words.
Marker.
That's invisible ink.
Get out of the way.
Little. You see it? You see it? I want you to pay attention to that. Those two words. Okay? Were the three horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. I beheld till the thrones were, okay, cast down, and the ancient of days did sit. Okay? The ancient of days happened to be Jesus. Okay? He is the everlasting one. Okay? You're going to find that he's going to be described. Okay? He's the everlasting one. He is the eternal one. He's called the Ancient of Days because he's older than old. Okay? He has no beginning and no ending. Okay? He's the Ancient of Days. Okay? Here's how Moses puts it. Lord, thou hast been our what? Dwelling place in all generations, even before the mountains were brought forth, or ever thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting. Now that word everlasting is this word. Olam. Okay, so that's one of God's names. He's called El Olam. Amen. Okay, what does that mean? He's from everlasting to everlasting. He's El Olam. Amen. Okay, he had no beginning, no ending. Okay, he's eternal. All right. Now. Okay. It goes on to say, a fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. Okay. Now, what kind of books? God's a record keeper, don't you know that? You know why God has to have records? Because when he brings you into question, and when he brings me into question, and you say, oh Lord, that ain't true. God's going to say, bring the book. And he's going to have someone open the book. And they're going to say, on such and such a day, at such and such a time. Oh my goodness. Okay? So God's a great record keeper. Okay. The fact of the matter is, okay, when each of us decide to follow Christ and make Jesus our choice, we were registered in the Lamb's Book of Life. Amen. And you know what? I like to use this terminology. There's no eraser on God's pencil. Okay? Which means that once God put my name in there, he's not going to say, oh, I made a mistake. let me erase his name out of there.
Thank God.
No, I thank God for that. Okay? All right, okay. All right. So, we just about through. We through. Okay. All right? Okay? All right, so we'll pick it up from where we left off. Okay? All right. Now let me say this. Chapter 7 deals with, basically, okay, in history, Daniel is talking about the Antichrist. Okay? That's Daniel. Way back then, talking about an Antichrist. Someone that's going to oppose Jesus Christ. Okay? All right. That's what Daniel would see. Okay? All right. So, we'll dismiss ourselves for the next service.